It's good that you caught that. It's really funny though when I process them and put them in the envelopes. I'll double check again and sometimes I'll find something like that.
Or especially when it's the cents, because sometimes I just kind of glance at the dollars.
Hi Nick, how are you?
Unmuted, doing good.
Good.
Okay, so it looks like we're good to go. Check signers, would you?
Seats for a second? Yeah,
Yes.
I just want to double check and make sure I did both things. And that's.
All right, I will call this meeting of the Solid Waste Special Service District Number 1 to order this January 31st, 2023 at 4:04 p.m. Present are the full board, myself, Mary, Chad, Diane, and Kevin, as well as district staff. Mike, welcome.
Thank you much. Glad to be here.
Yes. LJ, Savannah, Leanne, and our accountant, Nick Lindberg. First order of business is citizens input. Is there anyone in the waiting room?
Mm-hmm.
Yes, sir.
Okay, there are presenters, so that's
Yeah.
not necessarily citizens input.
Oh, but I mean, are
Yeah.
they?
Yeah, we should go ahead and let them in.
Okay, but there's no one in the waiting room.
No.
And have we received any written communications?
We have not.
Okay, no citizen input today. Approval of meeting minutes from December 21st. Is there a motion?
I move to approve the meeting minutes of this, December 21st.
Thank you, Mary. Is there a second?
I second that.
Thank you, Chad. Any discussion?
I have I think it's just a typo. When they mentioned me on number G as voting no, it says noting no. So an N needs to be a V.
Thanks, Diane.
Thank you.
Any further discussion?
No.
Seeing none, I will call for the vote with that one slight amendment. Mary,
Yes.
Chad,
Yes.
Diane,
Yes,
Kevin, Kaylin, yes, motion passes 4-0. Kevin is in transition.
Yes.
Oh, 5-0.
Yes. Yes.
You can only vote once, Kevin.
Review and approval of expenditures for the month of November 2022.
Savannah, can you pull up the expenditure report? Scroll down past that. Yeah.
I should get my.
That's the minutes.
Keep going.
Long minutes. It's a long meeting. There we go. And then we want to make that just a little bit bigger.
Yes.
Okay, never mind. Gonna do it like that.
And are you sharing that on the Zoom?
Yeah, we're just making sure.
So you gotta click the green part instead of the little carrot. There you go.
The mouse isn't like messed up. So on.
Okay, so just a couple of things to note. We did make our I think it's biannual payment to Cat Financial for the wheel loader. And that was the 29,000+, the biggest payment that we did. Again, high fuel costs. But November was a little less in fuel just because we're not using as many, doing as many routes or pickups for roll off or anything like that. Other than that, there was one other payment I'm trying to remember that we're going to reimburse ourselves for it was for the National Business Furniture for our lovely office furniture and dividers. So we'll be reimbursing ourselves for that. Those are the things to note and the expenditures for November.
Okay, thank you. Any questions? If not,
I can't read that from here.
Can you make it a little bit bigger?
Or I could turn here. So the total expenditures,
Scroll down to the very bottom, Savannah. There we go.
okay, I don't have my motions in front of me.
So then if you scroll up, you can get the motions at the top.
But isn't it 455,565?
Mhm.
Okay, I make a motion to accept the expenditures for $455,565.02.
Mary,
I second.
thank you, Diane.
What if we give somebody else a chance?
Any further discussion? Seeing none, I'll call for the vote. Mary,
Yes.
Diane,
Yes,
Chad? Yes.
Kevin,
Kevin, yes.
Kalen, yes, motion passes 5-0. Next up is a discussion with Cody Dieter and Cami Hamilton from EFG Consulting on fee study.
Oh, good.
Hello, everyone. It's good to see you all.
Hi,
Cody.
Cody.
Nice to meet you.
Likewise. Can I have the ability to share my screen with you all? That'd be helpful. But while I'm waiting for that to happen, I just wanted to introduce myself and my associate Cami Hamilton. I've worked with Mary and others at the county before, and so some familiar faces. And we had a call last week with LJ, Nick, and Mike to talk about the immediate need, which is to share some information with the city of Moab. So maybe just taking a step back from that, our scope of work is to help provide the staff and the board with a framework to make good rate decisions, good long-term planning for the district, so that you can ensure to provide service now and into the future at a sustainable level. And so that's our long-term goal. We're going to create an Excel-based rate analysis that the district can use in the future, or we can use with you to help you think about long-term planning, making sure you have sufficient rates to cover your obligations. Some of the things we talked about with the group last week was looking at, the variability of fuel costs and how that plays into your rates. Certainly looking at this Moab contract and ensuring that it fits into your long-term planning. And then at some point, we need to have a good, hard discussion about repair and replacement of assets which are aging, and how you should go about thinking about replacing those in a way that minimizes the financial impact on the district, but also ensures you have good equipment moving forward. So with that in mind, I will share some information about Moab City, specifically. Can everyone see that okay? My screen.
Yes.
Okay. So Moab sent over several questions to the district, and we're just going to go through the questions and provide you some information that we think can be useful in your discussion with the city. The first question they asked was what specific rates the district is requesting to increase and the amount of the requested increase. I know that you have increased rates on the other non-Moab users. And so I think it would be appropriate to share this schedule, which is your Spanish and Moab Valley only schedule of fees.
That was our plan. Yes, absolutely. That was our plan. Thank you.
Okay, I just want to make sure that made sense.
Do
Okay, go ahead.
you want to go through your whole presentation, or? do you
No,
wanna
go
take-
ahead. No, this is really an open forum to, these are the questions that Moab's asking, and we just wanted to share what we think would be some good starting places for you to answer. So if you have other things, jump in at any time.
So I'm not sure if the level of analysis that you will do, if you had done it before these the rates outside of Moab were developed, if they would be different than what we adopted. And so, as I understood it, your analysis was going to be comprehensive for the organization's fees.
Yes.
So it seems like what the district did is sort of a starting point for discussions with the city, but ultimately, what we did outside of the city isn't the be all and end all of the analysis.
Yeah, I totally agree with you. It really, and I guess a good question for me to ask, and I didn't think about this the other day, is I know there's some need to move quickly with the city. Is that coming from our side at the district, or is that being pushed by Moab, or is it a little bit of both?
To move quickly is definitely being pushed by us.
Yeah.
There's several things that we need to do and change, but mostly it's to increase our rates and income so that we're not struggling at the end of the year.
Got it. Okay.
And isn't it also to deal with the glass?
That's kind of a separate issue.
Okay.
Got it. Okay. So from a meeting with the city, I mean, the comment is very pertinent that we'll do a thorough analysis. We'll move as quickly as we possibly can. And this is just a starting point. In a month from now, we will have a much better analysis completed. But, obviously we don't have it right now. So what is your suggestion? Do we move forward, just share this information with the city and say in a month time, we'll have a more solid presentation? I just want to make sure we're all singing from the same sheet of music and we're not getting ahead or behind you.
Well, we had, I guess it's a combination. So we have talked to Ben and Carly and Marcy at the city, and we would like to present to them the fee rate increase by in February for their board meetings, for them to vote on it at their end of February board meeting. So the more complete that we can do a rate increase specific to the city contract, the better, but also then moving forward, making some sort of analysis that allows us and shows that we are going to be moving forward and looking at other rates, whether or not we can decrease them as well as increase where we need to increase. So.
Okay. That makes sense.
Nick, did you?
Okay,
have
well, with
any-
that in mind, I think this is a great place to start with the city then, is sharing this information, and then we can let them know that we're in the middle of updating it with more specificity and greater detail. Yeah. Right, I will move to the next slide, which is again, how much you increased your rates. This is the same chart, just with percentages rather than dollar amounts. So, I mean, this is a good starting place, I think, with the city is saying this is something that we think would be what you could expect.
Mhm.
Number 4, I think this is the place where this adds a lot of value. Their question was up-to-date financials that substantiate either a 5% increase in the tipping fees or an increase in operating costs that exceed 10%. That is in your contract with Moab City, that you can increase your fees to them if one of those two things happen. And so we looked at your total operating expenses from 2019 to 2022, and they've increased at an annual growth rate of almost 50% year over year. It's pretty obvious to see from 1.3 to 4.4.
Mhm.
So, it's a huge amount, right?
That's a direct correlation to the taking on the collections.
Yes,
Ways.
Because in 19, we didn't own this, right?
Nope.
right.
So
Not
that,
till
that
2021.
really not comparing apples to apples as far as anything post 2020,
2021.
May 2021, so half a
May
year.
2021.
So maybe a better comparison is just looking at the year over year 2021 to 2022.
Yes.
That'd be more appropriate. Let me
Yes.
just look at that math really quickly.
It's been
So
about-
that is still like almost a 30% increase from year over year.
And part of that is still even skewed because it wasn't until May of 21 that we took over. So we've really only had it for a little over a year, which is why in my presentation to them, I did do it from May to December. When I talked to Ben and Marcy, which I thought I sent you that as well, but if not, I'm certainly happy to.
Yeah, please do. And if we did, and we just didn't notice it, we'll drop that into this slide here. Or if you already have something you want to share with them, this is just some ideas from us. So if this is helpful, we'll certainly send this LJ to you and the group to use at that discussion. But we're just trying to be a resource to help you with that discussion.
Sure. Absolutely. Thank you.
Yeah, so it would probably for this look, it'd probably be a May through December of 2021, looking at comparison to a May to December of 2022 would be more of an apples to apples comparison.
Okay. Is that information that's easy for you to pull, Nick? I think we don't have probably as easy access to that as you might.
I can get
Okay.
that.
That would be great.
It should be in that email that that I included you on for that meeting with the city.
Okay.
If not, I can easily get it too.
Okay. Yeah. Their next question was the most recent fee study conducted by the district. I think this is a good segue to say, yes, we've hired someone to do this analysis, and we should have some preliminary results in the next month that will substantiate what we're trying to accomplish. I haven't won a Nobel Peace Prize, so you can't use that, but we've done this for a long time. We've done this for 20 years. So we know what we're doing. Support that shows how you arrived at the requested rate. I think that's probably in your analysis, LJ, but we'll look at that as well, just to make sure it's substantiated. But really it's that May to December year over year would be what I would suggest in the short term would be a good answer.
Mhm.
And then details regarding the plans or intent to adjust the fees. I mean, this is the best thing you have right now is just what you've done outside of the city. I don't know if you had planned to share, but this would be a good chart to share with them.
Mhm.
What you've already adjusted. Is that what you were thinking of doing?
Absolutely. Mhm.
Okay, all right. And then the last question, I didn't know how to answer this one, so this might be looking for some help from everyone on the call. Provide the count and percentage of households in the county not serviced by curbside pickup.
I thought I sent you the numbers. So we did have that. I have to pull it up in my email, but there was a number that I sent, I thought to one of you, maybe Cammie, maybe not.
I think what we received was like an analysis of the number of units and the property tax value of those units, which I don't know that answers their question directly. I'm pretty sure that's what it was.
Savannah, you came up with the number of county residents that we actually service. Does that include commercial or is it just resident?
Both.
We received, but
If that's the question, I don't know how many we're not servicing. I don't know how we could distinguish that.
So I wonder
Unless we
if
have
for a comp for the city, if it would be more useful to ask about Spanish in Grand County, but in Spanish Valley, as opposed to the whole county.
Well, that's kind of what I asked. It was an incorporated area of Grand County.
Right, but that includes, okay.
It shouldn't be the city. It should be everybody else.
Mhm.
And that's what I asked.
I think this is what you sent over, LJ, and I don't know that this,
No, there was in the email, there was something specific.
was there a different one? Okay.
So what you're saying, Kaylin, is rather than including Castle Valley and Thompson and 3 people in Cisco.
We don't service anybody in Thompson or those are just roll offs.
Right, but what I'm saying is that that's the city using these more far-flung areas as part of the comparison is I'm not sure how useful that is, and it's also going to make it look like there's the percentage of properties that the district serves is a little lower than if you just look at Spanish Valley, which I think is maybe the comp that the city is most interested in.
Okay. I'll
Because,
verify.
because they're, I think the argument is, well, there's all these properties in that you're not servicing. And so our city customers are paying a disproportionately high amount of your administrative costs. And so the county should force everyone in the county to get picked up too.
But they didn't talk about that, and I've been talking to a lot of people, and, you know, there are.
Right, so
Let's not get off on
setting
that.
aside that issue.
Yeah.
If we look at Spanish Valley, the percentage is gonna be, of serviced properties is gonna be higher than if we look at the whole county. And it's I think it's a more reasonable comp for the city because it's sort of,
have the option of serving those people in Thompson anyway. We can't go pick up from them
or
right now.
the costs, the fee would have to be higher in order to cover the actual cost.
The distance.
Um,
Well, we have a fee structure on that for Thompson and all that, but you haven't started that.
yeah,
Because the-
so I wonder if one way to get information on the total number of developed properties is from Grand Water and Sewer,
Okay,
because when they put the sewer in, they had a program to get everyone on sewer because the population density had gotten high enough that they wanted people off sewer, off septics, I mean.
mhm.
But there are people that are on septic still out there.
But just trying
It
to
would
think
still be a,
somewhat, I mean,
I wonder if the planning department.
That's who I talked to,
Planning
was the
and
planning
zoning
department.
would have
That's
permits
who I
for
talked to and got
septic.
the information though,
on developed properties or on
Yes.
septics. Oh,
on residential. I told them specifically, we want to look at how many people would get garbage service, how many people have actual homes, residential homes in Grand County. And so that was the number that she had sent. I'm trying to find it in my
Okay.
email
Great.
right now. And that was what I shared with the city in that meeting. I want to say it was like 2,600, but that's for some reason, that's a number that is coming up, but I don't think that's correct. So I'm trying to find the email to be sure. But
I think that's our residential account,
okay.
that's the number on it.
So it sounds like that fact is in progress.
mhm.
Progress, yeah. And that was their last question that they'd asked, so that's all the information that we had prepared, other than just, letting you know, we're gonna move as quickly as we can to provide, this board with good information to make good decisions. Our goal is to make a tool that is easy for you to view and understand and make good decisions for the long-term fiscal health of the district. And so Cammie and I will be working on that with staff over the next month to get something that you can chew on when you meet next month. So, if there's specific areas where you're most concerned in the district, please let us know what those might be, and we'll take a look at those as we review the analysis.
Great. Any questions from the board?
Thank you, Cody.
Yes, thank you. Looking
You're
forward to
welcome.
getting this.
Yeah, excellent. And next time and if it's helpful, I can come down next time if it's more beneficial to be in person, just so that, Zoom is great. I really love it. I didn't have to drive all the way to Grand County, but I enjoy being in Grand County. So being in the same room with people might be more helpful when we do the next analysis with you. So we'll plan to do that.
Okay, great. Thanks for the offer.
Okay.
Kaylin, I have a question. With regard to the glass and the single stream, is that not considered long-term planning? Is that not something that we're going to have Cody and them look at as well? It's going to cost us money. And I think there's some thought needs to be given to it. So I was just curious, why are we not adding that now? Why are we not talking about it?
Well, I think it's part of the fee structure, so I presume they're going to analyze it.
That's not what I hear from LJ.
It is a separate, they're asking, we do the fee structure separately, and then we talk about the amendment to the contract, which would include taking single stream out. They have looked at it as two separate issues. And in the past, I always thought we were looking at it at two separate issues.
So they're looking at the fee structure and then the contract of what would be in the single stream. Is that what I'm understanding?
And part of that is because there's a couple things that the city wants to change within the contract as well. And there's on both sides, there's a couple things that we want to make an amendment for, but that's kind of separate from asking for a fee rate increase.
And that's coming straight from Carly, the city administrator. Is that the proper terms?
City manager,
City manager, okay.
and that is her name, yes.
The fee structure that Cody and his team are working on will include recommendations on recycling rates, is that correct, or just?
Just on rates, but we didn't specifically say to
Sure.
make a difference in this taking
Like
glass
glass
out.
or not glass, but it will have recommendations for all of the recycling rates.
In our last meeting, it was with Ben and Marcy, it was specifically about fee rate increases. It was mentioned about the glass coming out because some people may be perceiving it as, you know, they're getting less for their service. And my response to that is, well, it's all about education, because really they're still getting the same service. We're just having to take glass out because it's not getting recycled in actuality. So it still costs us the same amount of money to go and pick it up. So it's a separate issue taking the glass out. In my opinion, but
Well, it's a separate contract.
it's the same contract with the city, but we're not asked with the fee rate increase. It's not asking to amend the contract. We have the right to ask for a rate increase because of our expenditures going up. So it's kind of a separate deal.
That's probably the clearest way to put it, right there, what you just said.
So then for this round of city rate adjustments, would you look at a sort of a worst case scenario for single stream handling?
And you're directing that to me?
No, I'm directing it to all the staff. Because it seems like there's some variability in terms of what scenario or how it would be handled. And if the city doesn't want to negotiate that as part of this, then it seems like, as with other, I mean, there has to be some estimating of what costs are going to be. And so if the city doesn't want to negotiate it, maybe the district needs to assume that they're going to continue to haul to Denver, weather allowing, which would then translate to a higher rate potentially.
Correct.
Okay.
And also, I think that we're looking at being frank with the public, and if we're not going to be taking the glass out, I mean, if the city, I think I'm hearing that you're saying that the scenario may be that the city refuses or doesn't wish to take the glass out, then I just think that it's a responsibility of somebody to let the public know what's happening to that glass, which is not being currently done.
Well, right now it's being taken to Denver when it's possible.
When it's possible, we take it to Denver, but we recently had to take it to Salt Lake because it was just impossible to take it to Denver. So, but in our conversations with the city, we have already, I mean, my indication has been from both Carly and Ben and the new sustainability director, that they totally understand where we're coming from as far as glass not getting recycled, and that really the best option would be to take it out. What they would really like to hear from us is what our plans are for the future as far as making it easier for people to recycle and how to educate. So I think that once we present that information to them, then they will feel like we're trying to work with them to make the best case scenario for this and remove the glass out.
They definitely would like to see some other options, and that's something we're gonna have to look at. Other options to handle the glass.
And it was definitely mentioned that we already have a drop-off center for people to take glass to, and brought up the comparisons that Kaylin, you had mentioned, to Park City and Logan.
Mhm.
And so by making those kind of comparisons and making that presentation, now I could reach out to Ben and Carly both and see if they want us to combine that. I mean, I was hoping for a little bit longer to be able to establish a projection and plan for the education part of it. So but that also is something that I guess it'd be up to Mike if we could do that.
Well, it
And
just seems if it's gonna cost the district money, that should be considered when we're talking about the fee structure. I mean, it's all income that we're needing to either have in our back pocket or to come up with. And I just think that it would be a good question to ask the city, can this is going to be an expense to us in the future if we consider to do this? And I think we need to talk about it.
My only concern about that is that we really do need to increase the rates in the city as soon as possible because we've already done it for everybody else. And the negotiation of the contract is going to take 4 to 6 months, more than likely. I mean, and we'll have to have our lawyers look at the new contract and their lawyers look at the contract. Can we begin those negotiations starting next week? Absolutely, but we really need to have the fee rate increases, which is why I wanted to separate them.
And for our own financial well-being for the end of the year, definitely, we've got to get that. I hate to say push through, but see what we can get it accomplished as soon as possible. And it's always going to take a little bit longer than any of us plan on. And Carly was definitely understanding and got it. But she was definitely viewing it as an amendment, which could take even longer because it's a contract change. As LJ, the increase changed because we've got the right to ask for it. So that should be able to go through a little faster.
It's already in the contract.
It's already in the contract. So you're 100% right. That's going to be some expenses. If they would want us to have other drop-offs, obviously that's more expense. But for our own financial well-being, the sooner we can get this increase, the better I'll sleep. Let me put it that way.
The better I'll sleep.
So you've got 100% valid points there. But coming from the city, Carly was definitely looking at it as two different things. Or
I
two
can
different
see
options.
why, because in the contract right now, it says we can ask for an increase if the cost goes up 10%. But so it's already in the contract, so we're not gonna have to go through a new contract negotiation. Well, to take the glass out, it's gonna be a new contract. So yes, that makes a lot of sense. I understand it better now too.
Okay, thanks. Good discussion. Any other questions?
Just want to make a point, when LJ and Mike and I met with the city staff, Ben, the lead time on the fee increase is essentially, if everything goes well and they're able to present at their meeting in February, the implementation could happen in April 1st. So if anything were to delay that, it would probably be May 1st. So if the district can present in front of the city council and get the necessary lead times in terms of public input, and the city council vote on that, ideally at their end of February meeting to approve that rate increase, then there's a 30-day period between when the city council approves it and when it can be implemented. So it'd likely be April 1st be the soonest that fee increase could happen for the city contract.
And I think I mentioned in our meeting, Cody, so I would need to get all that information to the city no later than February 9th. So I would prefer to get as much of the finalized information by the 6th as soon as possible so that I can put it all together and get it ready.
Put the packets together.
Mhm.
So
Okay.
I'm glad you brought that up. One procedural question. Because it's a city fee increase, is it only they have to do the public hearing, right?
Right.
And we don't. Great.
That's good to know.
Right, but they need to be confident that they have or will have the information to do it before they advertise it.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay, any other questions? Comments? Seeing none. Thank you, Cody and Cammie.
You're welcome. Thanks, everyone. We'll be in touch.
Okay, thank you so much.
Thank you, Cody.
We now have staff reports. LJ.
Okay, 1099s are out, so that's good since today's the last day to get those out, but those are all completed. I was waiting on one company's W-9 and finally got that today, so those are all been done. It's good to be in the office and we're still kind of moving some stuff in, but starting to feel more settled in here now, which is good. Other than that, I can't think of anything really we talked about all the meetings with Carly and I was going to bring that up anyway, but we did that earlier. So that's about it that I have.
Okay, thanks. Next up is Jessica.
And she's sick, unfortunately.
Okay. And Leanne.
Yeah, so happy to share that Mike made it, even though it was sounds like a little off plan yesterday, that we appreciate you being flexible and we're glad that you made it safely and that you're here. So that's
thank
a win and welcome.
I'm glad to be here. I feel like the district has been extremely flexible with me. It feels like it's been decades since we put this in motion, and I'm just glad to be here, and no doubt about that. So thank you.
We're glad you're here. Very
Yeah.
glad.
So I think LJ and Mike and I have just kind of worked on a rough outline for, just some onboarding and things that might be important for Mike to kind of get his feet underneath them and on good footing as he comes on board. And so, I think LJ, and then when Chris gets back, he'll pick that up and supplement that, but that we have a good plan to kind of help you get on board. And certainly if you need anything, I know the board and LJ and all the staff are here to help support you. So
I appreciate it. I can't think of a single thing at this point. I'm just taking it all in here on day 1.5, whatever you want to call it.
Yeah, we found the edge key today, so
Yes.
that was good.
definitely, yeah. And thank you again, Kevin, for helping with transportation. That was a huge help. So thank you for that. And just wanted to acknowledge and recognize you for that. And just grateful to have everybody here.
You're muted,
All
if it matters.
Right.
If you're talking instead of eating.
I just said, enjoy the Beamer, baby. So enjoy the car.
Figured it out.
Cool.
Didn't totally cover it. I was gonna have him say anything.
I'm just, like I said, I'm glad to be here. And putting it off for a week. Welcome basket of sorts. Wow, that's completely unnecessary, but welcome aboard and everybody. Thank you very much. I don't know if you want me to check this out now or later.
Oh, yeah. I'm
Right.
sure.
Wound seal, I'm not, okay. Right, tell me something here. Oh, these are, fantastic. Fantastic.
She can help us stop bleeding.
My little catchphrase I've been using too much. I get it. Oh, perfect. Absolutely perfect.
Everybody needs a Moab.
Definitely. Definitely. My son. Thank you very much. Instantly, I don't know, but we're gonna try. I tell you, we're definitely gonna try. That kind of reminds me of something that's gonna be a slow process. I want us to, but I want us to celebrate them when we make it. Had a good managers meeting this morning. Laid it out, that we're following this together.
Something's happened to your speech there. I can't hear a thing you're saying. You guys are it's changed since we had the beginning of the meeting, and I can't understand what you're saying. Nick, can you hear them? Can't hear you, Nick.
It's going in and out from where
Yeah,
I'm.
it's very garbled. Everybody's garbled, and I don't know what happened. Is the owl still there? Can't hear you.
Yes.
Is the audio for sure going through the owl?
Something's changed.
Yeah, it's.
Can't hear you.
Yeah, it's not working.
Strange. Literally, just-
There you are. I just heard Mike, so I don't know.
Is that better?
Yeah, speak. I can hear you now, I think. How about you, Kaylin? Can you say something?
Can you hear me?
Yeah, speak some more. Just say, I am Kaylin, I am Kaylin. You say one thing and then it's not clear whether I've heard you or not. I mean, if it's garbled, it goes in and out. And so you got to give me a sentence or two.
that's a little frustrating. We've done absolutely nothing different.
Okay, I can hear that. That's good. That was consistently. So I don't know what it was. Maybe it was just the clouds going over. Who knows?
Well,
Internet.
I hope it's coming through. I was just telling everybody, that we had a really good managers meeting this morning. And I just emphasized that we have to communicate. We have to talk to each other. We're gonna stop the bleeding. But it's part of the process. The whole acquisition, it takes years to shake all the cobwebs out. We've got some tough choices to make, but we'll take them one at a time and celebrate the successes. Plain and simple. Great. So I appreciate that. I'll be asking questions as we go. My mind's on overload a little bit after just one day. I'm sure there'll be more of that. But I love the office. I love the new building. I have absolutely no complaints at this point. Okay. And then, thank you and goodbye to Ian.
Yeah.
We
appreciate
you
so much.
Yes.
Guys are
You've
sweet.
Thank you so much for your help
amazing.
getting things here.
Yeah, well,
So
My
first
pleasure.
class. So much.
yeah, it's very cute.
Oh, nice.
I'm sure where you're working now, very, very pleased to have you.
Well, thank you. That's very kind to say. And I'm just next door. So if you guys need something, if issues come up, I've offered to Mike and to LJ, but, please give me a call. I'm happy to help advise or, anything that you guys need as you guys kind of figure out where HR might live for the district. I know Mike and I kind of talked about a couple different options. And so as, things progress, if I can help, let me know, and always willing to support you guys. So thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Leanne. Thank you, kiddo. Best of luck.
Okay. That's it for, and now board reports. Any reports from the board?
Thank you. But I also, and I've been looking into it. I watched, I can't remember. In New Orleans, they have started turning their glass back into sand. And it's not very expensive because that's what it, and so I want to research it. It sounded really good. And a little bit I read about it, depending on how much equipment it is. They're finding very good success there, and they're using sand for, they turn it into just various degrees, right back in sand like it was, to, since it is, to like gravel, for landscaping, road base. I mean, there's lots of uses. We might not have the volume That's when we found all of our issues. We don't have enough to. Sounding.
Chris and I had talked about that. Biggest danger is because of the silica that as you're grinding up. So making sure you have a safe the proper PPE and training for all of that would be an added cost. Currently, it's not an application that would be safe.
Seems like the sound problem is coming back.
Yeah, I can't hear you.
No, I don't know what's going on. We're not doing anything.
Okay.
Great.
So
Thanks,
that's
Mary.
it.
Well, you know, with the little bit that I did hear, Mary, thank you about the sand. I think, you know, there are other people in the region that are perhaps either looking at that same technology or utilizing it. One comes to mind in maybe Grand Junction. There's a curbside recycling business in Grand Junction, and I would encourage the district to look at. I don't even know the name of it, but it's like GJ something or other. Just Google recycle Grand Junction. And if we could get if other people are doing this, we wouldn't have to do the actual grinding. We could send as a group, we could become a co-op, and we could all have a grinder that pays to, you know, you pay for them to grind your glass or something. Something seems like could be arranged so that every single one of us is doing that one thing, that we could do it together as a group, and it would be cost effective and a beautiful world.
Thanks, Diane.
I'll do some research into both of those. See what's going
Yeah,
on out
Joe,
there.
put it on. You got a lot more higher
Mm.
priorities right
Salt
now.
Lake has their own glass trash or like carts. Has anybody looked into that? Like,
We
doing
have to purchase all new cards. So yeah, we have discussed that.
So anyway, that's,
Okay, that is it for our agenda. Future considerations include draft budgets for facilities and acquisition fund. Our next meeting is Wednesday, February 15th. And we've reached the end of our agendaized items.
Except
So-
for you haven't
Yes, Diane?
included any of the board members. I have something to share.
oh,
We just did board reports, sorry, and you were speaking and then you muted. So if you would like to continue your board report, please do.
Well, yeah, I guess I didn't realize that Mary was a board member. Well, hopefully you can hear me.
We can hear you.
I am joined by another friend here in Castle Valley, and every year you guys know that we have a cleanup out here, and we are trying to, as of last year, cut back on how much we toss in the bins. We're talking those huge roll-offs. And so this year we're going to have a couple of workshops of reduce, reuse, recycle, and composting, and maybe even some food waste. I'm talking with USU and the sustainability person there in the city about they sent us a letter a couple of years ago, Rosalind McCain, about recycling food waste, composting food waste. And I have never forgotten that letter. And so I contacted her. She was appreciative that the conversation came up. And even today I talked to the county extension, Cody Farnsworth. He's new on board. And we're going to see what we can come up with this spring to bring to the forefront the conversation about recycling and all of the things that, you know, affiliated with it. And I will be including the solid waste district. You've been
Great.
warned.
Thank you. Keep us posted.
Yeah, please pass on information to Jessica. So, because she does like monthly newsletters. And so she could definitely do a little bit about that and let us know when these workshops are, because I know that we could probably have her do a little workshop also.
Okay, that's great. I'll keep you in the loop.
Okay. So having reached the end of our agenda items, I will adjourn this meeting. Thank you all.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Bye.
Good work, guys. Thank you. Thank you.